This is Gerardo Del Real with Resource Stock Digest. Joining me today is the chairman and CEO of Mawson Resources, Mr. Michael Hudson. Mike, how are you today?
I'm fantastic, thanks, Gerardo.
I'm looking through your most recent release that you just announced, and it's got a lot of words that I really like. HighGrade, gold, Australia, drilling, Fosterville. There's a lot to like here. I'm not going to do it justice, so I'm going to let you provide the context because I believe you are on the cusp of another company making project, and you already have one, obviously, and maybe several. But again, I'm not going to do this release justice, so I'm going to let you provide a bit of context and flavor.
Okay, thanks, Gerardo. Well, we put out a release momentarily ago on a project called Redcastle, which is in the Victorian goldfields. Just as a background, of course, we've got the finished projects, and that's where we're building up a substantial resource there. We closed this deal in Australia only at the end of March. We've got 3 projects, 2 we're joint venturing into, 1 we bought outright, and we've got the right of first refusal on the largest land package in the state, 3,600 kilometres, largest contiguous land package. So that's the background. Redcastle is one of the joint venture properties. And we got the right to earn up to 70% in this property by spending only $1 million over the next 5 years. I think we'll do that in short shrift, spent by obtaining our earn-in. By the way, this project's panning out. We also have 10% of the company we did the joint venture with. So, in effect, we've got 77% once we earn into this project. Now, what is this project? It's an epizonal gold system. Epizonal gold systems are what Fosterville is, and one of the 2 different end member styles of gold in Victoria. Victoria is a supersonic orogenic system. It's produced 80 million ounces, but with the epizonal systems being relatively new, and we say, and I've been saying that nobody cared about Victoria until Fosterville in the last 3 years made that significant discovery at the Swan Zone, which made it one of the highest grade and most profitable mines in the world today. The irony is Redcastle was one of these epizonal uber high grade systems mined in the 1860s. And as we pulled together data literally from the 1860s to the 1890s, we found that these systems produced at hundreds of grams. From the first 6 years, they produced 20,000 ounces, which was quite a lot in the day, from one mine at 255 grams per ton. Just amazingly high grades. The incredible thing is that these thinner zones, they're sort of a 0.5 meter to 2 meter thick reefs made up of perhaps skinnier zones within those, and multiple structures forming across the strike. These extend over 17 kilometres within the joint venture tenure that we've obtained. So a big, long system. Incredibly, this is immediately along strike, 5 or 6 kilometres from Costerfield, which is a 1 million ounce plus system, another epizonal system, and 25 kilometres east of Fosterville. The Redcastle was mined 30 years before Fosterville was even looked at. It was mined a decade or so in front of Costerfield because the old timers went after the grade. So that's what we've got, and it's never been tested below those mines, which only go down to 50 to 70 metres to the water table. So never a drill hole underneath into this search space.
And again, I think that point is so important. There's 17 kilometers of high-grade vein strike that has never been tested below the water table. How does that happen, Mike?
It's incredible, isn't it, Gerardo? I've spent my life exploring, and the conventional wisdom is that the easy things have been found. And only 4 or 5 years ago, we found outcrops in the middle of some swamps in Finland that went very high grades, and we've subsequently drilling out a system there that nobody knew about until relatively recently, so that was sticking out of the surface, and And in a way, this is sticking out of the surface, but 50 meters down, if you like. But we've got very good evidence from the old timers records that mine this. Now, there's a lot of detail here. There's never been any geophysics of note, only a small magnetic survey in the 80s, never any electrical geophysics, and we think we can see these systems. They've got enough pyrite in them to see it. We've got approximately 50% cover where the old timers couldn't get through and mine. It wasn't sticking out of the surface. So 50% of the tenement is essentially unexplored also, despite all this 17 kilometres of where they trace these vein structures over such an extensive zone in the outcropping areas. Nobody cared about Victoria since World War One. Basically, is the answer to your question. Nobody cared. The majority of ounces came out in the 1850s and 60s. And up until World War One, it was sort of one of the key areas here in Australia. But then everyone went west, and Victoria was forgotten. And it's really only the last 3 years where the geological opportunity has become amazingly apparent to everybody, thanks to the great work that the guys at Fosterville have done.
There's a quote in the release from Forbes and Murray from 1885 that says, it seems incredible that such a field should have been left so long neglected. Neglected no longer, Mike. What are the next steps? Because I understand that you're looking to put a drill in there here within the next couple of months.
Yeah, we're going to go and collect some systematic data. Obviously, we've been out there and started exploring it, but systematic geophysical data that will start this month in July, and then we have a rig booked for late August, and we'll start putting holes under that for the first time since ever, but since that quote, since 1885, right? So it's taken a while for Forbes and Murray to be proven correct in their statement, and that statement still holds today, right? It is incredible.
Well, I'm looking forward to it. I know there's a lot more details to come. Is there anything else that you'd like to add, Mike? I know we're still eagerly expecting a resource update out of Finland. How is that coming along?
All coming along as planned. We said in August we'd have an update, and that's what we will have, an updated resource. Yeah. The only thing is here that we've got essentially one of these high-grade, uber high-grade epizonal systems at surface over an extensive zone, never drill tested in the shadow of the head frame of Fosterville. You couldn't ask for more. This has been contiguously held since 1985. This tenement, so it's an opportunity for us, and we're really looking forward to drilling those holes.
As am I, and I know shareholders are as well. Thank you for that update, Mike. I get the sense that we're going to be doing a lot more of these updates as the weeks and months progress.
Thanks, Gerardo.
Thank you.